Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. My people will not be small matter, not be small thing. Due to waiting they happen for Abuja, in short, the old Nigerians, themselves, they are not smiling. And the way me and Una they talk for this video, because I will display one video very soon for you to watch. They let us know, say, here's governor of Rivers State, wey they call Wike, so wey come happen to be wetin e be by jagaban by our current president Tinubu, so for Abuja. So my people, they let us know, say fire dey burn for Wike nyash. Hey my people, this matter so no be play matter. I just want make una sit down, make una watch those video to the end. But before then, if you dey make my channel for the very first time, you dey highly welcome. Abeg like and share this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on the bell so at any time when we upload video for you, you go there to go and check them out. First of all, I want to say happy new year to our fans down there, because this one is the first video of the year. Make una watch the video and leave your thoughts. I will see you all una. Bye for now.
Colleagues, I'm here today to address some of the nagging issues in the state and also to elucidate, throw more light on what is going on thus far, especially when we consider the statement or the media chat by our former governor, who is now the FCT minister, Wike. You will agree with me that the major problem has to do with what I call the pestilence of Godfatherism and its resistance. And the former governor, who is now the FCT minister, finds it difficult. He's yet to come to terms with the fact that while he thought he was going to a third term in office by proxy, the man who succeeded him, knowing too well what Rivers people went through in the last 8 years, has decided to hew us out of that mountain of despair and frustration. I'm talking of the present governor in the person of Sim Fubara. He was his DFA while I was in office, before I resigned. Then eventually became the Accountant General. You will all agree with me that he worked closely with the governor, then governor, who is now the FCT minister. And of course, I want to believe his hands were a little bit fettered, and so there are so many things, even if you oppose, because we had a governor who was impervious to criticisms. All those who reasoned that tangent to him were dealt with one way or the other, especially in the last governorship election and National Assembly elections. We can hear we all know of the story of Farah Dagogo. We all know of Chinyere Igwe. We all know of, we have a lot of them. Even hotels that were short, filling stations and so on. And most of them were hounded. What was their crime? Simply because they declared interest to partake. And the former governor refused or failed to understand that even by thinking he was giving himself so much credit, he was inadvertently damaging his reputation and letting the world know, or underscoring the fact that he was a dictator when he said he bought all the forms for PDP candidates and aspirants, as at that time aspirants, and he sponsored all their elections. That is anti-democratic to start with. And that also goes to bolster the fact that it was more or less a dictatorship. It simply means only those you wanted to aspire, and only those you wanted emerged as candidates. That's the simple truth. And so all those who of their own wanted to buy forms were harassed one way or the other, and their businesses were badly affected. Some businesses were shut, some they are accused of all sorts of trumped-up charges. So each time he said he bought all the forms, he thought it was like a glorifying thing. No. He was inadvertently damaging himself. But it's so unfortunate that he failed to appreciate that fact. Then he went further to also ask in his media chat if any of these persons can talk to their House of Assembly members, and the House of Assembly members will listen. What does that tell you invariably? It simply means he is responsible for the contumacious attitude of the Assembly members. He is the one telling them what to do. They are just pawns on his chessboard, political chessboard. And why is that the case? Because if you ask him today to come and contest in Rivers State in a free and fair election, we all know what happened in the last Google election. We're all journalists, and I believe you have the facts, even if you're not going to come out openly because of what INEC did by stamping what I call the ineptitude. But if today you say, if he says he can tell his assembly members and they will do what they want to do, it simply means because he bought the forms for them, he sponsored them, they are tied to his apron strings. That's what it means. Now, what is the problem? Ego. The FCT minister kept talking about gratitude, ingratitude, and so on. And I asked a simple question. Who is the worst ingrate? Maybe most of you have failed to take on the advisement, the issues in the last, let me say, from the days of Peter Odell. On several occasions, he said that Governor Dele was responsible for his return as local government chairman. And he will owe his political height to Peter Odell. Because but for that return, re-election, he wouldn't have been anywhere right there. He would have been a political force to be reckoned with. And he also went a step further on Peter Odell's birthday to say, God will punish him any day he goes against Peter Odell. His social media is everywhere. In his media chat, he denied it. He said he never said so. But the social media will not lie. It's for life. Today, he said, he's gone, he's part ways with Governor Peter Odell. And when they actually said, he never said, oh, he will never part ways. Is that not an act of ingratitude? Let us also go to Rotimi Chibuike. He was the chief of staff to Rotimi Chibuike, his principal. We are all seized of what happened between, for his own selfish ambition. For his own selfish ambition, we are all seized of what happened between Rotimi Chibuike and the FCT minister. What was the problem? Amechi said it was the time for the riverine, the turn of the riverine. And he said no. That was the major problem. He was Rotimi's chief of staff. Are they on terms today? The answer is no. Who was also responsible for his emergence as governor of Rivers State? The Jonathans. Is he on terms today with Jonathans? No. I'm addressing the integrity issue right now. This was the same guy who said he was never going to impose a governor on Rivers persons. In fact, he advised Ambode to reject President Tinubu before, as at that time he wasn't the president, Tinubu's Godfatherism in Lagos State. It's all over the social media, it's everywhere. You know, he loves the media, so it was a media chat. The same person who advised somebody to reject Godfatherism is trying to impose Godfatherism in Rivers State. Like I said, he said he was never going to impose a candidate, a governorship candidate. Today he's saying he was instrumental. He even bought the form for the governor. Is that not imposition? The same person who said he was too big to be a vice president is today the FCT minister, accepting the office that is even lower than that of a vice president. The same person who said he was going to support whoever emerged as the candidate of PDP, thinking he was going to emerge, went against Atiku because Atiku emerged and rained invectives on is it Tambua, the then governor, who had to step down for Atiku also to emerge, and called him a traitor. So if you talk of integrity, who lacks that integrity? Now he's inciting intifada in River State. They asked him, he said, if they were saying the governor should be independent, why wouldn't the assembly members? After all, impeachment is constitutional. What are the crimes? What are the grounds for impeachment? I'll go into the 8-point agenda. What are the grounds for impeachment? What did he do? As at when the budget was even presented, because the issue of the budget was not even the grounds. The problem preceded the budget presented. That's why only 4 members were in the assembly as at when the budget was presented. They had the issues because the governor, who had been pushed to the wall, resisted. He was asphyxiated, he resisted. You see, every spirit revolts at tyranny. And that was why the governor said, okay, there's no problem. Today you say you build bridges and so on, flyover, at what cost? Go to Delta State today. At what cost is the governor building how many flyovers? You build a flyover for 70-something million naira. That can be investigated. Why are you so much interested in the building of flyovers and you de-emphasize human capital development? Have we asked questions? Because he keeps vaunting, I built so many flyovers. Pensioners are not paid. No promotion. No employment. Those of you who were here when JSP was a governor, it was simultaneous. While infrastructural development was taking place, we had the human development as well, human capital development. But you're interested in building flyovers because you know the pecuniary gains. You know, one easy way of fleecing the state try to drive, whether state or national, is to embark on projects, whether they make sense or not. You're building flyovers for dead people, for the dead to fly over. They have to feed. You address the economy of the state first. And every day you say you build flyovers, at what rate? Stratospheric. Dave Umahi replied in then. When he had the beef with, when he had the quarrel with Dave Umahi said, you spend how much in building flyovers? And I spent less than that to achieve more. Dave Umahi said it. Then they were all governors. So what's this hype about you build so many flyovers and build so many flyovers? What's this hype about that? We all know why you concentrated on those things. The present governor, what has he done? We're all aware of what he did in the last December. We are even aware of the hike and increase in the salaries of local government workers. But these are the kind of people-oriented projects, policies we want. Even the bills that the so-called impostors, I say impostors, because we are all aware that once you defect, except there is schism in your party or there's a merger, you've lost your seat. There are decided cases. I also go into the 8-point agenda. We're all aware of that. They are still there. That's why I say they're impostors. And he says you should go ahead to represent that budget. And you now talk of the 8-point agenda that we all know was skewed in favor of the SCT minister. Because the only thing that you can say is in favor of the governor was the issue of the impeachment. Yeah, they said, tarry. But every other thing was in favor of the SCT minister. You're imposing commissioners on the man, a governor, and you're saying you must reappoint those persons. You must represent the budget. Meanwhile, there is a subsisting court judgment on that by Danagogo, who made that budget legal. Because at that time, the court affirmed that you just had 4 members of the 5 members of the House of Assembly. And if you talk of a quorum is based on the number, the numerical strength of the Assembly. These other ones had defected in the eyes of the court. And it was on that premise it passed a judgment. So what is wrong? If only 4, because they had already defected. So what is wrong? If you have just 4 members of the House of Assembly, does that mean that the governor was not going to present a budget because you had just 4 members of the House of Assembly? And INEC has even refused to conduct by-elections or supplementary elections, they call them. So the governor had no choice but to present that budget. And the 8-point agenda is not a legal document. That's what you should also understand. It's a political solution. It will awaken reminiscence of the Aburi. On Aburi will stand Ojuku and Gowan. If we all recall, most of you were not born. If not, the lies all of you. The Civil War, that led to the Civil War. When Gowan got back, the super pansers told him, my friend, you just sold Nigeria. I'm just trying to summarize that. Look at this, it's not in the interest of the country. And he reneged and said no. And that's why we have the Nigeria we have today. And even there at that meeting, 1 or 2 persons refused to append their signatures. Even if the governor had come back to say, Mr. President said this, therefore this must be done, Rivers people will revolt. Let me be honest with you. The support the governor is having today is not necessarily because he's been loved so much. Let me put it that way. As at that time, now probably because of his new policies and so on, yes, the love is increasing. But as at that time, to a lot of persons, to a lot of Rivers persons who have been seared in the flame of oppression, dictatorship, it was like Kumbaya. Thank God. That era is past. A president once died in this country. And for the first time, Nigerians celebrated. Rather than cry, they were buying drinks for people. Happy. Let me not say a head of state. Happy that he died. It was almost a similar situation. The only difference is that in the case